And you had mentioned something about it being a citizen sort of experiment where citizen participation was encouraged and the farmers were encouraged. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, there's a bigger part of the Sounding Soil project where we have a citizen science project running that's mainly managed by an NGO, which is part of our project. And it's not only the farmers. Well, in the first step, we constructed some soil recorders. We built up some soil recorders, and we borrowed them to the farmers here, to a small number of farmers here in Switzerland. And it was really interesting to observe them how their view changed of their own land, because in the first step, of course, they were all very curious about how their soil would sound. And they were, of course, sure that they hear something, but that was not always the case, really depending on their management of the land. So there was also a difficult discussion because especially the topic of using pesticides here in Switzerland became an important political issue. So there will be several initiatives in the next time where we have to go and vote about the protection of the soil and the water from synthetic pesticides. And it became a quite sensitive field of discussion, especially with the farmers that feel very attacked that they treat their land wrong. What they somehow do, of course, but at the other hand, there's a lot of polemic going on of farmers poisoning the country. So you have to be very careful once you start a dialogue with them. And I think the somehow non-verbal way is to make them listen to their soil, because they have a direct experience of what's happening in their soil and what's the effect of their treatment. Well, that was the first step, which caused a lot of discussions, also fruitful discussions with them. And then we opened it up to the general public. So at the moment, if you go to the Sounding Soil homepage, you can register and register for borrowing a soil recorder for 2 weeks and record your own soil. And the idea behind that is not so much that we use the recordings for our scientific work, but the people have to answer a questionnaire before and after they had the recording. So it's a lot about sensibilization topics that we want to find out. How are people sensibilized by hearing the soil? And of course they are. And that part of the project became really successful. So the recorders are always booked out, and people are really keen on hearing their own gardens or even balcony plants. The limitation is a little bit, the people that are attracted to that offering are already sensibilized for environmental topics. So we're still thinking about how we could reach people that wouldn't do that like by their own initiative. So, and there we're talking much more about younger people, especially in schools. So the goal is really to bring these recorders also to schools and to confront children with what's happening in the soil.